Tonight we're talking about Charade from 1963, directed by Stanley Donen. And a synopsis here from our good friends at letterboxd.com. The tagline for this film, it's a guessing game of mirth and mystery. It's not very often that you see the word mirth used these days, but I think it's apropos, RJ, for this particular film.
Don't talk like that. Shut up.
Regina Lambert, played here by Audrey Hepburn, returns to Paris from a ski holiday in Switzerland to find that her husband, Charles, has been murdered. She is later told by CIA agent Hamilton Bartholomew, played wonderfully by Walter Matthau, that Charles Lambert was one of 5 men who stole $250,000 in gold from the U.S. government during World War II, and the government wants it back. The money was not found among his possessions, and Regina can shed no light on its whereabouts. Later that day, she is visited by Peter Joshua, whom she had met briefly while on holiday. When her husband's former partners in crime show up, who were double-crossed by Charles, they start calling her looking for the money. Peter offers to help find it. Thus begins an elaborate charade in which nothing is what it seems to be. So my experience with this movie, Charade, was at some point, I think I was like on a Cary Grant kick, and I was just watching movies watching Cary Grant movies, which is like a lot of like Alfred Hitchcock stuff, Shadow of a Doubt, North by Northwest, and like Notorious, things like that. And so I was like, oh, Charade. I'd see it like on VHS sitting at the store. And I remember renting this movie and just absolutely loving it. This movie I thought was so awesome. The dialogue just was like so different. It had this kind of, even on VHS, it had weird kind of colorful opening titles and seemed kind of fun and zany. It had Mr. Wilson in it, which was really cool. And I don't know, it just had this kind of weird fun energy. It felt like an adult movie, but it was adults having fun. And then I think I wound up getting a DVD of this for myself that was a public domain DVD, because this movie, like movies that fall immediately into the public domain, accidentally put the wrong copyright filing information on the intro title, the opening title, and which meant that it was automatically in the public domain in America, meaning that anybody anywhere could just put this movie out, nulling and void. It's like what happened with Night of the Living Dead. So this movie floated around for a while. Criterion put it out on DVD way back when, but it was the difference of paying, I'm going to pay $40 US to get a copy of this on DVD, or I could get a $5 public domain. It was kind of the trade-off there.
Right.
I think I remember the last time watching this movie, I was watching it, and I kind of was wasn't feeling it as much as the first few times I'd watched it. So I now have the Blu-ray of this, and so I hadn't even opened it up and watched it again. And I still really enjoy this movie. It is a lot of fun, RJ. A word that I often...
your favorite word?
My favorite word. But this is a movie I feel that lives up to funness, I guess. It zips along at a pretty good pace. It's not long whatsoever. I don't know what to say about it right off the top of my head right now. I'm kind of curious, before going on, what you thought about Charade, coming to it for the very first time.
Feels like the first time. Sorry, that just came into my head when you said that. What do you think I thought of this movie?
I don't know.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I would hope it's a thumbs up. But I guess it depends on how you feel about Cary Grant, I guess, because he's in this movie a whole lot, and you seem to be cool on Cary.
I'll say 2 things. The first thing is gonna be a statement about Cary Grant, and the second thing is gonna be a statement about this movie.
Yeah,
Cary Grant has special needs of some sort. I think he was dropped on his head when he was a little kid. It's not as bad in this movie, but he's a fucking weirdo. There's a scene at the end where he's running. He doesn't know how to run. He's on a track or something, and there's stuff going behind him, and it's just his bottom half isn't moving. It's almost like he's in a chair, and he's just moving his arms and bobbing his head to make it look like he's running. Cary Grant has something going on with him. He's a weird guy. I don't think I like him. Okay, so that's my statement on Cary Grant. So Charade, I watched this with Andrea
Mm-hmm.
because I read the description and I saw that it was in color, and I was like, hey, she might like this. And we put this fucker on, and we laughed and we cried and we all had a good time, and we both thought it was a wicked movie.
Oh, good.
So I enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
Cool.
I actually didn't know if you liked it or not, so I thought I might be the defender here for this.
Oh,
but,
no. I really do like this movie quite a bit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, when we're watching it, Andrew was like, she's like, "Is this Hitchcock?" And I was like, "No, last week's wasn't. I didn't like last week's at all."
No.
And she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "It's a lot of the same era of actors. I think it was because of Cary Grant."
Yeah.
And she's like, "It seems like Hitchcock, but it's fun." I was like, that was her exact words, and I was like, "It's exactly what I thought."
Mm-hmm.
And especially like right at the start, you get that vibe. Like there was a lot of scenes that just put kind of a smile on my face, like the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's so like witty. It's so witty. It's so sharp. Like one of the first scenes when Audrey Hepburn meets Cary Grant, she's like, when strangers meet abroad, they have to do this or that. And she's like, Shakespeare said that, and he's like, no, he didn't. And then she's like, how do you know? And I wrote it down because I thought it was so funny. He's like, it's terrible. You just made it up. Because I think that is so funny, because there's so many times in just real life that I hear people say stuff and it's like, did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound fucking real at all.
Mm-hmm.
So right from that start, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a ton of scenes like that, and it totally just in general, I thought it had my attention the whole time.
Yep.
It played along with when it was suspense, when it was a thriller or action.
Yep.
So when it was a romantic comedy, it goes on this roller coaster, baby, and it hits all. I think it hits all of them super well. Like it doesn't fumble any of it. Like what I was talking about with The Mummy, where it doesn't know what kind of movie it wants to be.
Right.
This movie knows exactly what it is, and it can seamlessly go in between different genres.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny that Andrea picked up on the Hitchcock thing right away, because like right in the liner notes, like one of the cliches, as well as in our Who Hates This Movie area, people say, well, some say it's the best Hitchcock movie Hitchcock never directed. And it's like, yeah, it is. But I mean, during the scene when it's Matthau, it's right at the end at the theater, that whole scene, I was thinking, like, if this movie was directed by Hitchcock, I bet you it wouldn't be near as good. Because he wouldn't know how to handle the comedy would be played so differently. Like the way he'd have, like, I don't even know if he would cast like James Coburn and George Kennedy. Like he wouldn't use those guys. Like they don't fit into his idea of like erudite villains. Like he wouldn't use a Walter Matthau. Yeah. Like that's not his taste. Unless the studio made him take those guys. Because if you look at his cast, like he has a very particular style of actor that he uses, and Cary Grant is one of those people. But I don't know if Audrey Hepburn would be. Like I don't know how she would fare with him. Like just based on like the crazy stories of like how he was with his cattle. I think this movie is like way better served being not by Hitchcock and be by Stanley Donen, who I don't know if you looked it up, but he's the director of movies like Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, I looked it up after because I liked it so much. I was like, because I was like, I don't even know who this Stanley Donen guy is. Yeah. And then I saw a couple of the titles. It was like, oh, okay. I've never seen any of his other movies. I just know them. Like I've seen parts of Singing in the Rain. Like I'm pretty sure anyone has. But this was a first for me, and I was like, oh, this guy rules.
Yeah, no.
And especially like what you said, that cast is fucking like it's fire. It's hot fire, Jarrett. It's Walter Matthau. Yeah. James Coburn and George Kennedy, which, by the way, is George Kennedy like 8 fucking feet tall? Because he looks fucking tall.
Fucking James Coburn's fucking tall too.
Yeah, and George Kennedy, he's in. Well, there's a scene where he's in the elevator with Cary Grant, and he's like touching the roof. I was just like, holy fuck, George Kennedy's tall.
Yeah, well, because Cary Grant, I don't think is short either. Yeah, no, the cast is like pretty sweet. You can attribute the really wicked dialogue that you mentioned, the pitter patter. Oh, yeah. It's Peter Stone was I think the one that I seen mentioned is like he's the guy who came up with that stuff. Because I mean it's like really good. Like for that period of time, because it's like a romantic comedy, but it really fast paced, kind of like Howard Hawks style.
Right.
But yeah, that stuff's great. So the movie opens up with a Maurice Binder opening credits scroll, which is actually Maurice Binder did like 14 of the James Bond intros, which is appropriate. Because even like this was in 1963, James Bond had only been in like what? There's 4 movies of Bond at this point, something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You would know.
I don't know. Whatever. Bond.
Yeah. Bond. It's funny in that credit scene. Andrew's like, "Look, it's fidget spinners," because there's like all the like spiral things going around. It's a hot topic these days.
Fuck me, man! I can't escape talk of fidget spinners. We started selling them at the store.
Nope. I know. I imagined you would love that, but anyways,
man.
Yeah. Credits are wicked.
So yeah, opening credits. They are here, a far cry from the murky public domain DVD and VHS I had previously watched this movie on. They just pop. The DVD Blu-ray package reflects those like big bands of bright color and stuff like that. It's really nice.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Audrey Hepburn? Because actually, I had to, when I was watching this, I was like wondering, like, I wonder if Andrea is going to watch this with RJ. Because I wonder, because there's like that one, there's an Onion article that I thought was really funny the other day. It was like college freshman says that like for some reason she just like inexplicitly like relates to Audrey Hepburn. And I'm like, yes, because there's always like girls with their Audrey Hepburn Breakfast at Tiffany's poster in their dorm room. Right. And it's like there's something about her that like people really respond well to. I'm kind of like immune to it. I don't know. She's fine, but like I don't think about her that much. But I know some people really like that Audrey Hepburn.
This, believe it or not, is the first movie I've ever seen with her.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, although I do own it.
Yeah.
I bought it on Blu-ray for $1 one time. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch that one day.
Yeah.
But I haven't.
You said I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. Look back to our RoboCop episode. I believe it's 18 or 19. Wink, wink. I thought she was fine. Is she Katharine Hepburn's daughter, or is that an old wives' tale?
No.
Or are they like cousins?
I don't know.
Did I just make up Katharine Hepburn? That's a real person,
I think right? Yeah, she's a real person. We're probably driving listener Stephen Brooks crazy.
Oh, well, whatever. I'm just going to assume that they're both the same person. And I just noticed that Audrey Hepburn is in that Spielberg movie that I read a description of, and I said it sounds like total fucking garbage. That Always. So I'm going to watch that movie, and I'm going to stick it down you and Joshua Frazier's fucking throats. Unless it's really good, which it could be. I don't know. Anyways, what were we talking about? No, yeah, I thought she was fine.
Yeah.
Like I think she does the role really well. The only thing I didn't really like, and I don't think it's nothing to do with her, and I don't really hold it against the movie either because I think it's of its time, is that I think she swoons like a little too easy for Cary Grant. Like, yeah, he's charming when he's in the shower with all his clothes on. Yeah, I'd probably get down with him too if he wasn't fucking weird. Yeah. But I was like, this lady's like real into it. But I guess she was in a loveless marriage, so hard to say.
And it's Cary Grant, baby.
It's Cary Grant. Oh, by the way, like we were talking about how he's a weirdo. So he was wearing a tie pin, but it wasn't pinned into a shirt. Like it was just pinned into the tie. It serves zero purpose like that.
Well, he's pinning back the like little inner tie part, the little loose bit.
I don't like it.
Hey,
I think he's a weirdo.
I'm sure that Cary Grant knows how to wear a tie better than either of us do.
You know what?
I'm
going to go fucking dig up his body and see what his tie is like.
Well, that's not. He was dead. I mean, that's going to be on The Undertaker.
Well, I'll dig up his Undertaker
Mark
and see
Calloway.
what his tie is like.
Well, find Mark Calloway.
Yeah. That actually reminded me. There's some when you brought up Audrey Hepburn. She has a fucking sweet ass line in this movie where she gets handed a cigarette and she rips the filter off. And she's like, it's like drinking coffee through a veil. I thought that was so fucking badass. I was just like, yeah, girl, get it.
And how did she die? It's like, and then she died.
Did she die of cancer?
I have no idea. This is more fodder for Steven. Because, yeah, she is definitely not Katharine Hepburn's daughter.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
see.
you know what?
Death.
There was a 50-50 chance.
She died back in 93 at 63.
That's pretty young.
Yep.
Hey, get a hold of yourself, chump.
Chump.
Dropping stuff over there during the show.
Oh, that was the cat.
Oh, well, whatever. He just wants to have his piece too. But yeah, like I thought she was super cool. And I thought James Coburn is so fucking hip in this movie. Like the suit he's wearing, like his style is in fashion again right now. I was like, this guy has got it going on.
Ugh.
Real good.
I'm just reading about how she died. Apparently, upon returning from Somalia to Switzerland in late September 92, she began suffering from abdominal pain. Revealed she had a rare form of cancer in her abdomen belonging to a group of cancers known as pseudomyxomoperitoneum. Having grown slowly over several years, the cancer had metastasized as a thin coating over her small intestine. And so she had a nice, long, drawn-out death. But it wasn't lung cancer, so smoke him if you got him, folks.
Well, do you want to go get a pack of darts with me right now?
Maybe
later?
Go on.
Go on. Yeah. Do you... I have some more stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I've got stuff I could put out there. So this is another movie that enters into in our Criterion Creeps so far that are kind of part of the 60s cool of movies, because we had things like Shock Corridor, Naked Kiss, Alphaville, the Tokyo Drifter, and Branded to Kill. This movie is better than all of them.
You forgot Henry V.
Oh, and of course, the King of Cool.
Yeah, the King of Cool, Henry V.
But yeah, I think this movie pulls off that like 60s-ness, because there's like that period of time where like jazz starts emerging on movie soundtracks all the time. Because I think because that even like 400 Blows kind of has that. Yeah, but anyway, I mentioned that. Yeah, Cary Grant, boy, he was old even by 1963.
Fucking right, he's old.
Well, of course, like I forget that, like, oh yeah, he was like in movies in the 30s, and he was like a guy in his like 20s, so it would follow that he's 40 years older. So he's 25 years older than Audrey Hepburn,
right?
Which adds to that whatever spring-winter relationship.
Excuse me?
I don't know.
Well, wait until we get to Harold and Maude, and then we can talk about that, okay? That's going to be in 4 or 5 years, but we can talk about it then.
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, then I just wrote in all caps, Coburn, because Coburn is great.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's very enjoyable in this movie. And then we got ourselves some George Kennedy, who's an old hand. He's always popping up in Clint Eastwood movies. He's always like fantastic. I actually, this is like one of those few times where I remember him being like an actual, like, he's like an asshole, like a good old heavy. Because usually he's kind of like the lighthearted grandpa. He's just, oh geez, not again. So this is like where he's actually.
Are you
kind
just
of
thinking of like? Are you just thinking of like Naked Gun?
Yeah.
He's like, okay. Sorry, keep going. Yeah, he is. He's menacing because he's fucking got a hook hand, and you're like, fuck, this guy's tough.
Yep. Yeah, and then we get the main event in the form of Walter Matthau, who, like, I don't know, he like makes everything better.
Yeah. Isn't he the coolest fucking dude you've ever seen?
Yeah, he, like, his way of reading lines and stuff like that, and his presence is so different from everybody else. There's this movie I watched like a few years ago called A New Leaf. And he's just like fantastic in that movie. Like the movie's like it's like a 2-hour long comedy. I can't remember the name of the actress director, but she directed this movie on her own, starred in it. But I mean, I mostly remember him because he's this like just rich asshole who he needs to save the business because he's really bad at being rich. And so he just marries this like kind of a oblivious poor girl for her money and stuff like that. And there's some like Walter Matthau's just so good. I love everything he's in. Because you actually a few years ago I made you borrow Taking of Pelham 1-2-3, which which was also co-written at least by Peter Stone, who wrote this.
I pieced that together after.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I had never seen that. I had only seen the remake with John Travolta, which I quote verbatim. There is a line in this movie where John Travolta goes, "Lick my bunghole, motherfucker." And I have had that burnt into my brain for so many years that when you told me there was a Pelham with Walter Matthau, I think my very first reaction, my guttural response was just, lick my bunghole, motherfucker.
And then I went, pardon me.
You're like, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. He's the best. There's the scene where, like, his introduction scene, he like pulls that fucking sandwich out of that cupboard. Like he's like, you want liverwurst?
I was gonna ask you, RJ, have you ever eaten liverwurst?
No, I have been offered before, but I've never eaten it. But I thought that was hilarious. He pulls it out and he's eating it and he's just burping. He's like,
oh yeah.
You're just like, he's so fucking cool. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I need to watch more of his Jack Lemmon stuff because like I don't know when the last time I saw The Odd Couple was, and that Grumpy Old Man. I've never actually seen RJ.
What?
I've never.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's a fucking national treasure.
The Fortune Cookie. Oh, Bad News Bears. He's fucking awesome in. Charlie Varick, his crime movie. It's pretty good. And yes,
you've never seen Grumpy Old Men? Are you?
I've never seen
kidding?
Grumpy or Grumpier.
My God.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bum.
You need to change your life.
Out to Sea. Huh?
I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But seriously, you got to change your fucking life, man. If you've never seen Grumpy Old Men.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just looking through his list. Yeah, he was in A Face in the Crowd. Oh yeah, fuck JFK. He's in it for a little bit. Failsafe. He's awesome in. That's the kind of Dr. Strangelove played completely straight. That movie's outstanding. He has this amazing final speech. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna make a vow now that I'm gonna try to include some Walter Matthau movies in the next few weeks.
Okay.
I already see one here. I'll watch for fucking sure by next week. So. Yeah, the suspense builds for everyone. They're like, what is he talking about? Grumpy old men? But seriously, you should watch that. You should watch it with like Chanel or something.
Okay.
Because it's wicked.
We'll see what's on Netflix. If Walter Matthau's like represented at all on Netflix, I doubt it. But hey, so then I also wrote The Apple Game. That's a pretty ribald game, RJ.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever played The Apple Game?
I think when I was a kid, before like people had like boobs and stuff.
Oh, gross. No, actually, I said, me and Andrew talked about the same thing. I was like, did you ever do this? And she's like, I don't think so. I was like, we definitely did this in like elementary. Our elementary school, like the last day of school was this big track and field meet because everyone in the school is in teams. There's like 8 teams. And like everyone competed and they made the points. And at the end of the day, one of the teams won. And I think that was one of the games. Like you did like a tug of war.
Yep.
You did like a spoon thing and then like actual stuff like long jump and track and field. But you do the apple thing, but it's way easier as little kids because they got those fucking turkey necks and like noodle brains and they can like,
and there's no breasts. And
I was trying to dance or skirt around that because I don't want to,
I don't
want to get this.
Tits.
I don't want to get this flagged
Boobs.
by that Canada creep or anything like that.
Fun bags with our buddy who was arrested.
He got caught.
His picture's all over the place, and he looks exactly the way you imagine him to be.
Yeah. Well, apparently they found some even worse material at his home, so that guy's going down.
Oh baby, like a true creep. Anyway. And then so after the Apple Game, you get the big turn where it's like, whoa, the Apple Game just got really disturbing, and because like when one of the fellas goes to threaten her, and then she runs to the taxi phone, and then James Coburn shows up and starts trying to light her on fire.
Flicking matches at her.
Man, that's sadistic, RJ. It's just sadistic.
Yeah, but he's so cool though.
Yeah. So what did you think initially of the thing with Cary Grant being in on it, or so it seemed, being with the baddies?
So I didn't find it like totally surprising.
Yeah.
Like when it actually gets revealed, I was like, yeah, okay. But I didn't like necessarily think it was happening right from the start.
Right.
I'm not that big of an asshole that's like, oh, I could totally see it right from the start. No, yeah, I was out. Like I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, when it did happen, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
My next big note on this movie is the rooftop fight actually looks really good in this movie. Like just like the neon signs and the lighting and stuff like that of that, and like there's no music, and it's just these guys grappling around. It's like really well done. Quite the opposite of how Alfred Hitchcock would have had it play out, which would have been really badly because, as discussed in 39 Steps, Alfred Hitchcock does not direction fight choreography well at all.
Swing for the fences, Jimmy.
Yeah, and I really love how it ends with George Kennedy sliding down the roof, and you get the sparks off his hook going down the middle. It's like what a nice little touch that is. Yeah. And then of course
it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. And then like the movie that came to mind while watching this at points was the film Summertime. Because there's like sort of the travelogue-iness, which I think is probably when you were watching, you're like, oh, I bet you Jarrett hates this movie because it's like summertime. But I'm like, well, because Summertime doesn't have a movie with like stamps, RJ. It doesn't have movie stuff about I don't know, hook-handed dudes and like people being drowned in like plastic bags over their face and being like they're having their throat slit. That's what Summertime needed, okay?
When you're a middle-aged woman and I make you watch Summertime again, I think you're going to appreciate it a little more, okay?
Okay.
I think that's, out of all the movies we've watched that we have disagreed on, I think that's the one that in time your opinion will change.
Okay.
But no, I agree. This movie has fucking dope stuff like that. Like, it's got some gruesome-ass murders. Like the one dude who's got the bag on his head and he's like, his
Goldberg.
feet are tied to a radiator. You're just fucking, like, holy shit.
One of my next note here was this movie is surprisingly violent. Like, it's like, I mean, it's not like they don't linger on it too much, and it's like kind of like fake looking in their death staging, but it's like still like, whoa, like that's like fairly like elaborate death scenes for what it is. And it's almost like hard to believe that, spoilers, Walter Matthau's behind it all, and he's like the one who's actually killing folk with his skeevy looking mustache. In his liverwurst breath.
Oh, that scene again is so funny when he's just drinking that wine. He's like, "Want some wine?" And he eats like 5 fucking liverwurst sandwiches.
Yeah, when he's like laying out the whole scheme to her, there's like that smash cut to just his face looking directly at the camera. Oh man, he's so lovable. That guy.
He's the best. He's so cool. He's so cool, Jarrett.
Another thing here is like the pervert boat spotlight, where like the boat, the boat's going down the canal, then like they dim all the lights, and then they hit the spotlight and start like peeping on like people kissing, and it's like, what is this?
Okay, well, so I was watching that and I was like, if some motherfucker was like put a spotlight on me when I was making out, getting down,
when you were macking,
yeah, when I was laying down some heavy mac, I would have been like, hey, fuckhead. I'm getting greased up here, baby. You can't just be breaking that groove halfway through.
Got a semi-chub here.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't just like fucking throw a spotlight on you with like 100 old fucking people and just be like, look at those kids. Yeah, I thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
What am I to? Who am I?
Who are we to judge? It's the European way. Yeah, and then I really like the stamps thing. I think that's like pretty smart. Like it works really well. It's so simple. Mm-hmm. You get the nice little, even like out of that, you get the character moment with the old man who's like, I'm just happy enough to have had the stamps in my possession once in my life. And it's just like, oh, sweet old stamp collector man, and selling the kid a bunch of stamps. Even like going back, I guess like when the kid's kind of like held hostage, I kind of like how it's played. Like no one's seriously going to hurt this kid. Like all the hooligans, the thugs, they're kind of just like, yeah, we're going to take this kid unless you bring us the money. And it's just like, yeah, they're not going to, like, they're hanging out. The kid's like not like in real any danger. They're just like, yeah, this is the next best idea. So it's kind of got a nice lightness to it. And yeah, I love.
I'm surprised that you like this movie.
I don't know. There's nothing to dislike about it. It hits like
you're a weird dude.
It hits all the notes right. Like it feels like I don't know. It feels very genuine and like true to like everything. Everything's played well. I can always appreciate that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt your flow there. I'm just, when you're naming stuff that you actually like, it's just like, whoa. Mm-hmm. This Jarrett guy, he might be a human after all.
It's all been a charade, RJ.
Oh, no.
And then, the end of this movie I think is like really good too. The whole like, because like I it's been a while since I'd watched it, and like I was like, how does this end again? I love the big kind of final battle with between Matthau and Grant and Audrey Hepburn running around in the pillared area and like sneaking around and stuff like that. I think that's all really good. The desperation of Matthau as it ramps up, it's really good. He's like, he won't shoot because you have to come out and get the stamps, and he's too cowardly for it. Like, I love the deduction of like his character. Cary Grant, for like a employee of the federal government for the Treasury, he's very hands-on, and he has no problems dropping a dude to his death, literally.
He's got no problem dropping a dude, and he's got no problem deep dicking some women, because he gets all up in there.
Well, eventually.
I thought they did before, like, he revealed what's happening.
I think that, so in the essay with the Criterion for this, Bruce Eder, he makes some comment that like in whatever it was, the 3 movies, James Bond boned more women in those 3 movies than Cary Grant had in any movie up to that point that he'd ever been in. Like, this is like a strange, like, this movie's like kind of like so different from like a James Bond movie at this point, because like,
yeah, I was gonna say that seems like apples and oranges.
Yeah,
it's like, are there women dancing in rap videos? What about this Mormon gospel video?
Well, they're both,
I feel like you're comparing those things.
They're spies or spies. So are you saying spies are not just like regular spies or whatever the fuck you want to call them? Treasury employees, espionage and charades and espionage and all that trash. I don't know. It's like they're all in the same mode. Because I mean, 39 Steps is also kind of in this because it's about stamps, but it's kind of like a wrong guy story placed into this context that you never get a feel for. In this
but that movie's not good.
Yeah, and then it's just not interesting anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too would be the end of this movie. I love how it plays out because I couldn't remember who Cary Grant was in relation to this. Like, is he testing her and stuff like that? And I love, you just go ahead. I'll meet you. I'll wait out here. And then she goes in, and there he is sitting in the chair, all pleased as punch with himself. And you get the Cary Grant face of just sticking out his tongue and going cross-eyed just for fucking kicks. And the ongoing gags. I don't know. He's good. The script's great. The characters are fun. The movie's fun. Everything just works perfectly in this movie, I think. So
great success
for
everyone.
Yeah. Any other thoughts you want to share? Notes?
I have 2. One, I thought the score was hot fire.
Yep.
They got some music cues that line up so nice, and it's so refreshing. So I think the score is wicked. And then I have one last thing. There's something in this movie I've never seen before. Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn are walking, and she's a little peckish, so they get a little snack. They get a little ice cream cone, because that's romantic. This fucking ice cream cone is 2 cones, or it's a base of 1 cone with the scoop thing of 2 cones, so you can put 2 scoops in there. I've never seen such a thing in my entire life. This fucking blew my world. Blew my world? That's not an expression, but I'm going to stick with it anyways.
All right.
Did you notice the double scoop ice cream cone?
I didn't.
It's not 2 scoops. Like, it is 2 scoops, but it's like, you know how an ice cream cone has the base, and then they have like the bucket where the scoop goes?
Yeah. So
it's the base, and then there's 2 buckets, so you can put a scoop in each side. Huh. It's fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That's it, people.
Okay.
That's all I wanted. I don't know. Can you get this anywhere else in the world? Probably not.
Maybe they maybe put places out of business. It just was too risque, too outside the box.
I believe it.
Yeah. Well, RJ, not everyone enjoys this movie as much as we do, I guess, because there's people who are not fans, like strong not fans. Because like usually, like when people have hated this movie, I mean, they're giving like 2.5 stars of late.
Yeah.
But au contraire, because some people really have it out for Charade. Ben Miranda, he gave this movie 1 star.
Eesh.
So apparently, this film is often cited as the best Hitchcock film that Hitchcock never made. It isn't at all. Stanley Donen's dry and slow-moving directorial style is far too slow for a thriller and too straight-laced for a comedy. This makes the film feel uneven and awkwardly paced, not helped by a screenplay that also veers from straight thriller to silly romantic comedy with spy elements. I feel that had Hitchcock, a master of balancing the two styles, had been at the helm, it would have been a far tighter, wittier film. Now, both Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn are good actors, and both have their charms here, but again, the dry, slow pace of the film works against them. Neither are really allowed to take their roles and go to town with them, and are instead hamstrung by the pacing of the film, leading to a general feeling of staleness and lifelessness. The supporting cast made up of character actor legends and Best Supporting Actor Oscar winners Walter Matthau, James Coburn, George Kennedy are all having fun with their roles, but again, the pacing of the film torpedoes their performances, meaning lots of downtime and waiting for the next burst of activity. Mancini's score, however, is classy and chic, and the theme tune is quite catchy, but he always does nice work, so that is to be expected. So all in all, I found the film rather dull and boring, which is a shame since it showed promise as either a straight thriller or a fun comedy. But in the end, the downright glacial pacing and uneven tone meant it was neither. 1 out of 5 for me, and I'm probably in the minority for saying so. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Because you're a dink.
Dink.
Buddy. What a dink.
Alano is also a dink. 1 star. How did they get this so wrong? Great acting talent and an okay plot is usually enough to get by on. This, however, was dreadful. Just a laughable mess from beginning to end. Leave this type of film to Hitchcock, thanks.
No.
That's
not the point, you guys.
Brian Welk gave this 1.5 stars as well. Do people actually like this? How a movie of Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn, and George Kennedy, directed by Stanley Donen, could be this catatonic? Not funny, no style. I didn't finish it. Way too lame.
I hate people so much.
People are whack, RJ. People are whack.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. Or these people are. I think most people do like this movie. It's like, why wouldn't you? The other thing, too, is like the actual like big chase scene with like her trying to get away from Cary Grant and like taking the train and jumping around. It's also well done. Like it's like really well done staging that draws you in a really like solid way. I don't know what I don't know what the different. Like, all the chases actually are really well done, and I've seen people have problems with Stanley Donen's direction, but I thought like he did a way better job than a lot of directors do. Where I find the chases are actually really dull. In this, I thought they were pretty good.
I didn't notice anything bad. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Me neither. I don't know. I think that's all I've got to say. This movie's good.
Yeah, it is. I liked it. I had fun with it.
Yeah, Cary Grant, the greatest actor of all time, greatest human being, without fault, without any mental problem.
For overcoming all of his limitations, he sure did well.
That's good. I think it's gonna be
Go fucking watch him run at the end of this movie. It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
So sorry, what? It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while until we see Cary Grant again, but we will see him at least one more time in the collection when we actually watch Notorious, another Alfred Hitchcock movie. We'll see how Al deals with Cary Grant's specialness.
I've seen how he's dealt with that before. It's not well.
Yeah. Well, after the break, what's your favorite death in this Charade movie?
Oh, it's got to be that fucking grisly James Coburn one.
Yeah, plastic bag over the head. After the break, RJ's going to be found dead with a plastic bag over his face.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
It'll be just as good as in the movie.
Almost.